Item number 12, discuss and take action on removal of GRMC Facebook page and closing the GRMC Twitter account.
Who requested this item, please?
I don't know if it was me or whether it was Paul.
Or me.
Or
I don't understand
John.
social media well, and so I don't know.
I think it was me.
Okay, my next question is, where did you get the authority to take over the Facebook page in the first place, Mr. Harper?
I think it was important for the hospital district to not lose its tax-exempt status for using the Facebook account for political purposes, which is violation of 501c3 rules.
And you decided that on your own. It didn't come from the board. You did it right after you were given the oath of office, didn't you?
Yeah, I believe that to be incidental to the office of
And you
secretary.
don't think that needed to come before the board?
I think that's incidental to the office of secretary.
I think you're way off. In fact, I think it could fall under abuse of office under Chapter 39 of the Penal Code, and that it probably constitutes official misconduct under Chapter 87 of the Local Government Code, and official misconduct is a basis for removal from elected office. With that in mind, if the rest of this board or the majority of this board wants to vote to remove Facebook and shut this down, I want to tell you something else. May the 28th, but I was not here. I was in Galveston at a TDCAA conference at the Texas District and County Attorney Association. There happened to be a section on social media in the presentation. Now, this particular thing did not come up, but after the presentation was over, I went to the presenter, who's the county attorney for El Paso, a female, by the way, and has been a presenter at a number of other TDCAA conferences. I told her about the situation we had and what was going on. Her response was that although there had not been a decision by the Attorney General's office, there are a case dealing with whether social media information is considered a governmental record or not. The prudent thing to do is not to mess with it. And in her opinion, if someone had taken that over and was removing things, which we know Mr. Harper had deleted comments, and that he's blocked people from posting, she said she thought that that would constitute official misconduct, would be a reason for removal from office. So I want to caution each and every one of you on the board that if you want to vote to do this, if you want to get the same vote that Mr. Harper's already in, go ahead. But don't say I didn't warn you.
So you're saying that we could not choose not to have social media?
I'm saying that if you're going to delete it, you're going to delete the information that's put on there. It's put on there by a governmental entity, and you're messing with something that you shouldn't be messing with. And there was absolutely no reason for Mr. Harper to take control of that. And as you'll remember, I talked to you twice about getting in touch with him and having him get it back to the hospital. And you told me you would, and that didn't happen. So either you can't control him or you won't control him. Which is it?
I move that we back up the Facebook posts that have been done by the Facebook account, and then we delete the page, and we keep a copy of the activity before it's deleted for public records.
Why? Why are you so anxious to delete that?
It sounds to me like what we're talking about is trying to control what our hospital district is putting out as government record. Isn't that what you just said?
Well, you might want to look at 3903 under the Penal Code, official oppression, if a public servant intentionally denies or impedes another in exercise or enjoyment of any right. Until there's something wrong with that, and who put Mr. Harper in charge of deciding what was wrong and what was right? Have you seen it? Has he explained to you what was wrong? He hasn't me. You're leaving him in total control. I've got a real problem with that.
I've got a problem with anything that's not under control of the board if it is official communications.
It was taken out of control of the board by Mr. Harper. It was taken out of everybody's control by Mr. Harper. And we sit around here and let this happen. What are we doing? We're saying, oh, y'all don't know what you're doing, so we're going to take it away from you. It's ridiculous. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I'm tired of sitting up here and playing nice when I know what's going on and some of the other people know what's going on.
Well, I'll second the motion that we back up everything that might currently be actually official records so that it'll always be available and not use it. Whatever that's going to take.
What's the reason? Why? Because Paul says so?
No, because this is something that's going to be the public record that I, as a board member, would not have the right to witness. And I don't like that.
You can get on Facebook and witness
I
it.
don't have an account.
Well, you can create one. Well, then you're denying. Well, forget it. Just, let's argue your surface here.
Any more discussion?
I'd just like to add that it's current policy of the hospital to discourage the use of social media for employees while at work and to expect reasonable use of social media when away from work. That's the current official policy of the hospital.
Any more discussion? I believe we have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, raise your right hand. I believe that was 4-3. Next item on the agenda.
I still want to, I've got another motion. I want to go ahead and remove the Twitter account as well. So I make a motion to remove the Twitter account.
I'll second that too.
Have we ever used the Twitter account?
Not that I'm aware of.
I think once.
I'm asking.
It was not even managed when I got it. Nobody even knew it existed, and the only reason I got it is because I took over an email address that expired, that was supposed to be managed by the district, but it wasn't. And that's how I got control of the Twitter account.
If it's going to be there and possibly considered official government records, it needs to be not there. It's not under control. So I'll second
But
that.
it is under our control.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Unless somebody elected themselves to control it.
The reason he got hold of it wasn't to ban.
The email address was abandoned and managed the account.
It's a principle of the thing. I mean, there aren't too many facilities anywhere that don't have Facebook accounts. I mean, you use it to promote open positions in the hospital, health fairs. I mean, this is an important part of keeping our hospital viable.
And also, I was informed that Mr. Harper was asked to put, since he's in total control of Facebook, to put something on there about the health fair. He was asked to do that maybe last week. That didn't happen. Why?
No, I was asked, and the next day I replied and asked to post a PDF to the website so that I could put a link to it and create a calendar item on Facebook for it, and I received no reply.
So, are we saying by this, by the 4 against 3, that this hospital will not have a Facebook account?
That's what it was voted on. We're voting on a Twitter account now.
And who's going to control that?
No, I've already
Like
asked
I don't know.
that we get rid of it. That was the motion, and that was the second.
And so at this point, we're discussing it.
Yeah, the Facebook's gone, and Twitter's in the process.
All right? So, any more discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? 4-3. All right, next item on the agenda, discuss and take action of returning GRMC Facebook page to control of hospital employees.
I guess that was just done away with, wasn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what I'd like. If we can manage our Facebook account according to our Facebook policy, or our social media policy that the hospital put in on 6/14, I believe it was. I don't have the date in front of me. 6/14. Yeah. I would like for Ashley to have a Facebook account for the hospital that she can use to do her PR and do the stuff that a Facebook account ought to be. And I said this a month and a half ago, if we're going to have a Facebook account where it's a big political mumbo jumbo thing, go create your own. I don't care what you call me, ain't going to hurt my feelings.
But Mr. Harrison, you just voted to not have a Facebook page at all. I'm really confused.
So am I.
I mean, you can't have a Facebook page and then have one that actually runs. That's,
Well, I think someone could make a motion that we have a Facebook page and turn it over to. I can't make motions. I can tell you what my opinion is. I agree. I don't think we're mature enough to have a Facebook page the way we had it in May. What I would like would be to give our PR person an opportunity to market our hospital and run a business using social media. I have zero problems with that. As far as it being the negative thing that it's been for the past couple of years, I don't want that for 5 seconds.
I'd like proof that this has been so bad.
yeah. There were
Somebody
issues
show it-
until
somebody show it
this
to
board
me.
was elected, the only time there was any problem.
I would like to just say one thing. This is 21st century America, not 1930s Germany.
I would like to make a motion that Glen Rose Medical Center has a Facebook page in control of the people who run the hospital, whether it be the public relations person or the administrative assistant or whoever it needs to be to post jobs and information that's important to the hospital.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
I like your idea better. I think if you have too many people in control may not happen.
I can't make motions.
I think if you have one person in control, you really got a huge problem.
I think if we have one person in control, we would have some accountability with that, and we would have somebody, for instance, City of Glen Rose, Dennis Moore manages their Facebook. If you get on there and say, I went to Oakdale Park and it was nasty, I ain't never going back, my family was treated horrible, blah, 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 I can tell you, Dennis Moore pulls that off right now, every single time. Doesn't back up, doesn't ask permission from nobody. I think Ashley should have that, and if somebody post something on Facebook that is not, I don't know what the word I'm looking for here, I'm not necessarily going to say positive, but if somebody puts something inflammatory on there, then Ashley or whomever y'all choose to put in charge would have the authority to pull that off immediately. Or maybe the post and comments would have to be filtered and be approved before they were permitted to go on there, so it just doesn't go wild.
There's one word that describes that: censorship.
Okay, City of Glen Rose does it, Glen Rose ISD does it, Somervell County does it, every other webpage that's a government entity here. I don't know about the Water District because I didn't check with them.
Then if we're going to do that, then you have to provide guidelines for people to follow. You can't just say do this and then have fun at it without actually giving them a way to manage that process.
Well, but I'm thinking our PR person should be with it on what she wants our hospital to look like on social media. And I've had discussions with Ashley about this. I think Ashley's excited about doing this, and I think it could be a good tool for us. I think if we let it go the way that it's went in the past, I think we're going to be wasting our time having a Facebook account. I think we'll be back here next month talking about it. So we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Thank you for that motion.
And then Ron seconded it, and so that'll be the motion.
What was the motion?
Oh, I'm sorry, Brett seconded
The
it.
Glen Rose Medical Center has a Facebook page managed by whoever the administration thinks is the best person to manage the Facebook page
Okay. So we have an amended,
that works for the hospital.
yes, we have an amended motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Brett seconds. All opposed? Looks like 4-2, and Eugene abstained.
Like I said, I think the best person to manage that is Ashley.
All right, so problem solved.